This is Garrett from IDC Woodcraft, and I want to show you how to make your fonts look absolutely amazing when you do your CNC carving projects, just like this. I am in Vcarve Desktop, and you can do this in any software that's capable of joining, of overlaying designs with your font. So let's start off with a really nice font. We'll use this Miss Fragidosi, whatever that is, and we'll use the word elegant, just like I had. Oops, wait a minute. Let's get it up there. I made a mistake here. All right, let's get it up in here. Elegant. There we go. And so what we're going to do is we're going to add a swirl to the end of this T, just like I did in that image. And so let's rock this out. I'm going to create a little bit bigger material size. So let's go with the 14 wide. All right. So we have our font. Now, how are we going to get a beautiful swirl at the end of this? Well, here's what I do. First thing I do is go to Google and go Google right there. And we will type in swirl. Whatever you want to do to add something into your stuff. So I'm going to go to images. If my computer will go fast enough. Okay, so there's a bunch of swirls here. So let's find a nice pretty swirl we can attach to that. That's actually really nice right there. One of the things I want to do is let's get a higher definition image. So we'll go to Tools, Size, Large, and that'll bring in large bitmap swirls. And some of those are looking pretty wicked. Not the kind of swirl I want to use. Okay, I'm not liking any of these. Let's try to plural this. Swirls. Ah, much better. Okay, so let's find that one that I use. Well, this one looks kind of cool. I mean, it looks very similar to it. Let's yeah, let's go ahead and pick that one just because I've done it before. So, all right, so we have this cool swirl here. I'm going to right click and save the image as, wait a minute. I'm seeing some other awesome swirls in here. So let's pick this one just to make this interesting. So right click and save the image as, we're going to call it swirl 3 because I think I have other swirls in there already. And now we're going to go back to Vcarve. We're going to introduce a bitmap up on top here. You have your file functions. Pick the last one. That's going to open you up to import a bitmap and go to the downloads. That's where I downloaded it at. So double click that and there is our swirl. Double click that and that looks pretty cool. I actually kind of like that. So I'm not sure how to get this into this T. So here's what I'm going to do. Because it's kind of hard to get it hooked into the T without interrupting the T. If I turn it a little bit, you know, that one swirl is going to cross over the T, which might be kind of cool also. We could actually rock with that and just see what happens. What do you think? Let's turn that a little bit more so it actually looks like it's on the T. And no, it doesn't fit. Doesn't work. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to mirror this thing. So let's just mirror it. And we're going to mirror it vertical. I am not going to create a copy. So I'm just going to flip vertical like that. And voila, there we go. So let's move this over to the T again. And we're going to turn it so it kind of blends into that T. Just like that. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, that blends into the T pretty well. So that's what we're going to rock with. I'm going to move it a little bit more. I got to turn my snap off so I can get better adjustment on this. We're going to come in really close. So we got some gray zone in this thing, which is may goof us up a little bit, but we will fix that. So that is what we are going to be working with. So now we're going to go over to our bitmap, trace the bitmap, which is that little airplane thing there. And Vcarve is going to grayscale this to its best interpretation. Now, you can see that in that grayscale, it doesn't come down into the T. Just the one thing does. But what I'm going to do is we're going to change this around a little bit. So we're going to continue with this, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. So I'm going to preview it, and it's going to create these things. So I don't like that. I want to bring this threshold up just a little bit. And let's see what it does when I preview that. So it's made more solid lines. Let's bring it up a little bit more. Yes. Let's just see what happens here. Preview it again. So what I'm trying to do is get more solid lines coming down into there. And that's what we got now. Now you see we got some jagged areas in there. So the way we're going to fix that is we are going to go to the noise filter and just bring it up a little bit. And then we're going to click apply and close. And now we have a bitmap layer in here. What did it do there? Okay, so we're going to have to do a little fiddling with this possibly. Let's see what it did. I'm going to turn the bitmap off. I turned the bitmap layer off. It did not import that gray stuff as I brought the threshold up. It didn't create vectors around it, so that's good. Okay, so we don't need that bitmap anymore. And so now we've got some pretty cool tails off of that T. But now we got to blend it into this guy. So first of all, we got to chop out all this weird stuff. So what we're going to do is go to the left side and just hold the button down and wrap around those and then hit delete. And we're going to find any others that are like that. So there's a bunch of them right there. So let's just get rid of those. And we've gotten rid of those. And we're going to clean that up here just a little bit. So we got a swirl here. It doesn't seem to like go into this guy at the moment. We'll see what happens. I mean, it's not really noticeable, so we can stay with it at the moment. Depends on how we're going to do this. If we're going to carve around this, then that's going to be a little tricky with a small tool. But if you're going to carve into it, it's all going to be a little tricky unless you have a V groove. And I would use a pretty steep angle if you do. Now you see something that's hiding in behind there. That actually kind of looks kind of weird. So we'll fix this up. Anyway, I am operating under the idea of etching this in glass. So any of this will work. Okay, so let's fix this up. And what we're going to do is we are going to grab, oh, we got to clean some more things up here, don't we? So let's get rid of that. How does that look there? Okay. And any more, other than we have to fix that one. Looks like we might have something right on the end here. Delete it. And over here. Delete it. And I think we're looking pretty good now. Okay, so let us take all these guys and we are going to just grab them all. And we're going to move it into the T. So we're just going to drag it down so everything comes into it. Just like that. Okay, looking good. Now, the first thing I'm going to try to do is just weld this thing and see what happens. When you weld it, right now we have independent letters, and so we want to get rid of that. And so what we're going to do is actually use the weld function. So we're going to grab all of this, and we'll just do it with the E2. So let's just grab the entire thing, which is what we got, and we come down here and hit this weld button under Edit Objects. Now it's going to do replace on some things, but that's okay. And you just let that go, and look at that. We are one unit there. That was pretty good. And now we've got swirls on the end of our elegant. Let's doctor this up real quick. If you don't know how, I'm going to run through it real quick. Hit select your item, hit N for Nancy, that's node, and you see it's created some nodes there. So what you do is just hover over the one nodes you don't want and hit D, 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 if it wants to take it. There we go. All right, so clean that one up. We're going to clean that one up. The other thing you can do is hold your mouse button down, just grab a few of them and hit D. Now it's always going to leave one, so. And we are going to clean those out too. So we'll do it like that. D. and D. And we got a little goofy spot right there. And we're just going to grab that little flag and swing it around. And we are looking good. So I'm going to hit escape to get rid of that. So we've got a swirly here and a swirly there, and this is messed up somehow. And the reason it did that is because it welded, so we are not looking as good as we want. But here's how we're going to fix this. So we're going to grab an arc, and we're going to position it, just kind of flow along with that, and we're going to put it right there. And let's see how this works out. So let's just kind of go over, let's just assume, let's see, that one's coming down to a point, so let's just come over here and see what we can do. And then I'm going to grab another arc, put it right here. And looks like we got two different radiuses here, maybe a little bit more, but we'll work with that. Make an arc there. Then we're going to turn our snap back on because we want to be on the end point there. And we're going to come over here. And let's see, so that one's running around like that. And so we're going to just kind of go into where it was. It looks like we're going to have to do a little bit of doctoring up here. Let's draw another arc. You'll see what I'm going to do here in just a moment. This is actually turning out to be kind of cool the way I'm doing this. So I haven't done this stuff before. At least not like this. So doing this video is forcing me to figure some things out. Matter of fact, I'm going to do another arc, and I'm just going to come right across over here. And we are going to clean that up. Grab another arc, put it right here. And we're going to come over to the other side of the point and go right there. There. Now, as far as this guy goes, what we're going to do is we are going to shorten this whole thing. So I'm going to draw a line. We're not done yet. Don't worry. Still got this stuff going. There we go. And escape. And I'm going to cut that line. I'm going to cut these vectors out of there. And then we're going to grab that guy and delete that. And we're going to take this one and we're going to, don't want that. I want a node. Hit the end button and just drag that guy right over into the other one. Now they're connected, and we are going to just kind of cut out that really super tight radius or the tight point, and we're going to draw a little radius right here. We're going to connect and just arc it. This is so small in the font that it just comes out. There we go. And now we've fixed that. Now we just got to finish that one. So let's draw another arc. Let's just grab it here. Okay, looks like we're a little offset there. We'll fix all that up. Let's just get our arcs put in place first. So there's our first one. And this is going to go wide, so we want to stay on kind of a growing scale here. There's another one. And how wide do we get? So we're going to get full wide right about here. And now we're going to start to come back out of the radius or out of the thickness. We're going to connect to that guy, and we're going to start to reduce our wide. We're going to fix all this up. Okay, so we got to grab those two. We're going to hit the node button again. We're going to just grab that point and drag it up. We're going to grab that point, drag it up. So it starts to look a little bit better. And it didn't snap to that point. So what we're going to do is, to clean that up, we are going to escape out of node, and we're going to select that one, and we're going to select that one. But you select them, you hold the shift down when you're selecting multiple vectors. Now, you can only do this one at a time. Now, right click, go down to join or close vectors, and do it with a smooth curve, and now that's considered one vector. Now we got to do it with the next one, and I think we should probably fix this up first. So let's just select this guy, and we are going to hit node again. And we're going to just drag this node back. And we're going to drag this node over. And then we're going to just click that one. It's going to switch our node locations. You see this is just kind of looking a little goofy at the moment, so we're fixing all this up, and we're going to move that one up, and we're going to follow this arc. So we're going to pull that arc down just a little bit. So a lot of little doctoring up on this guide to make it look right. Now this little flag here, we're going to pull it down so it flows better into it, and we are getting a lot closer to what we're trying to achieve here. And we're going to pull that one over. Yeah, we're starting to look good here. So what we're going to do, I mean, a little cornered right there, but you know, when you're etching, you're not going to see it. If you get into a professional job, then you're going to want to fix that up. All right, so we are going to start connecting our vectors. So we're going to select that one, hold your shift button down, select the next one, right click, join vectors with a smooth curve, and that looks good. Now we're going to click that one because we want that to be part of the same vector. The reason you want to do this is if you're going to do a V groove on this, a Vcarve, these vectors have to be connected. Otherwise, it's just not going to work. All right, so we got that connected. Now, let's just check this one. Okay, we got to connect these vectors. Shift button and join vectors. You have to do it one at a time, like I said. Shift button, join vectors. And that is all looking good. Now, the way you can tell is you click it and it's highlighted all the way around. I mean, all these vectors in here are joined. So we are good to go. Let's see if we need to doctor anything up. Looks like we got a little goofy spot there. Um, or right here, rather. So node, and we're just going to pull that flag down a little bit just to round that out a little bit more. And it's still a little funny, but again, not noticeable. But check that out. So that's how you can really beef this up. So your V carving tool is going to come in, make a bunch of little grooves that you may not even see. Um, Depends on how close you have that set to the tool. It may look a little funny, but now you know how to attach a swirl to your words and to just make your words a lot more elegant. Let's run a Vcarve program just to see what it looks like. So I'm going to highlight everything. Everything is highlighted. We are going to go to Vcarve right there. And we're going to use a 60-degree tool. And it is going to default to the depth. And we're going to calculate. And now let's run this and see what we are seeing. So basically, here's what we got. You're going to get a little bit of, it's a very nice word, by the way. And it looks quite elegant. Probably could have been turned up a little bit more or maybe gotten rid of this little leaf here. Matter of fact, let's do that. Let's delete that because it makes, to me, it makes it look a little off kilter. Yeah, it just kind of jumps out as something odd. So let's go back. We're going to click switch to design commands, and we are going to use our 2D screen. Now, what we're going to do is it's going to be a really easy fix. We're going to hit our node button again. Oh, cancel. Node. And what we're going to do is just delete these nodes. Delete. Hit the D button, not delete. If you hit delete, everything's going to go. And D. And D. And we'll just fix that up. D. 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 Go. And this, that's still there, that little uh, amputated area, because this little tab is so long. So we're going to take it and just go like that. And now we can clean this up too. We may want to move that stuff out, but we're going to roll with that. Let's go back to our 3D or modeling view, and we are going to recalculate. And that's the recalculate button there, and we are going to run it again. And we ran our toolpath, and now, okay, the reason it's still there is because I didn't reset it. So hit the reset button and then run it again. All right, so that looks a lot better. Looks like it's growing out of it. So maybe you want to move things into it. It's the nature of the depth of the tool. Um, Yeah. Anyway, so now you know how this kind of stuff works, and there we have a very elegant word. Elegant. We've made it much more elegant by adding the swirls at the end. So I hope this video has helped you show you how to make a much nicer, more elegant uh, work in your signs that you do. This is Garrett from IDC Woodcraft, and thanks for watching.